Hello and welcome again to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. As you can probably tell, this is something a little bit different. I've got to say a huge thank you to Diamond Select Toys for sending this my way. And it is of course the Johnny Lawrence Cobra Kai action figure by Diamond Select Toys. Now the box on this is really cool. It's a nice window box so you can see in the front and the sides. And it's Johnny Lawrence in the very popular Cobra Kai TV show on Netflix. So without further ado, let's have a look at the figure. Included in the box you get a flight stand. There's a few different positions you can put this in, but it's a standard flight stand, and you get a base which has got a nice Cobra Kai emblem on it as well. There's a little slot here that you can slot the flight stand into, and there's also a peg on there as well, so if you don't want to use the flight stand you can still position the action figure on the stand like so. There we go. So let's have a look. What else does he come with? He comes with a handful of hands. Here's two sort of closed fist hands. Obviously being a show about karate, you're going to expect some kind of fighting hands. Here's also another kind of karate-esque hand as well. And you've also got a hand with him holding a cell phone. Now, if you've seen the TV show, you'll see that he uses a flip phone, like an old style flip phone, and there's a lot of detail on there which is really cool. The phone doesn't come out of the hand, it's sculpted and moulded into the hand. He also has on him an open hand on his left hand and a pointing finger on his right hand, so you can get him into those Johnny Lawrence poses. There's 2 points of articulation in the torso, so there's like a chest swivel and a waist swivel. There's a little bit of articulation there in the arms. You can move them around a whole 360, and the shoulders do go up and down. There's 2 points of articulation in the elbows, as you can see there. There's also a little bit of articulation in the wrists as well. The legs, you can pull them open to kind of like a split position, and there's a thigh swivel, 2 points of articulation in the knees, and there's also a little bit of articulation in the ankle, but because the gi kind of hangs over the back of his ankle, you can't get that as much, but you can play around with him and you can kind of get him into some kind of karate-esque poses. I'm just trying to get him into a fly kick here, but as you can see it's a little bit stiff. Now Diamond Select Toys are absolutely fantastic for detail. They're a really nice kind of display piece. You've got to have a real play around with the articulation to get them into the right positions, but it is doable. Now just be careful when you are changing the hands over, because the pegs on these hands can be quite fragile, so when you're pulling them out and putting the new ones in, just be a little bit careful that you don't break the actual peg. I forgot to mention there's also a bit of articulation in his neck there as well. Now as far as an action figure goes, this is pretty cool. I'm a massive fan of the Cobra Kai TV show, and from what I can tell there's a handful of figures out there from Diamond Select. So if you are a fan of the TV show, these are pretty much the only action figures you can get of Cobra Kai at the moment on the market. Now these aren't the type of action figures that you would give to a small child to play with, because I think that they would break them, but for the adult collectors out there, these are definitely one for your collection. Now there's a whole bunch of characters in the Cobra Kai TV series. They're on season 5 now, I believe. There are so many different characters. All that Diamond Select have covered is they've done Johnny Lawrence, they've done Daniel LaRusso, and they've done John Kreese currently. Now the box does say series 1, so I'm expecting that there are going to be a few more, and we'll probably get the characters like Miguel and Hawk, etc, etc. It'd be nice to see some of the female characters as well. That would be a nice touch. Or potentially some of the older versions of the original kind of Karate Kid characters like Johnny and Daniel. Some of the other ones as well would be cool. So like I said, as far as an action figure goes, it's really cool to have an action figure of Johnny Lawrence from the Cobra Kai TV show. As pointed out, Diamond Select Toys are a little bit stiffer, so you do need to be a bit careful when you get him into kind of a position. But for me personally, I'll have a play around with him for some kind of photography, but essentially I'll have him posed on the shelf in a kind of a stance like this. If we have a little zoom in, you can see that the head sculpt is pretty good. It definitely looks like Johnny Lawrence as far as an action figure goes. It's not kind of photoreal tech, but the sculpting on him is really good, and the details here on the gi is really good as well. You can see all the kind of folds and stuff. But yeah, overall it's a really cool action figure. Definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of Cobra Kai. They are readily available on the Diamond Select Toys website and quite easy to get hold of as well at the moment. there isn't a huge amount more to say about the figure. I suppose in regards to the flight stand, I think you might have seen earlier there's like a hole in the back as well, so you can plug the flight stand in. And if you are going to use the flight stand, make sure that you've got a Phillips head screwdriver, because you've got to loosen and then tighten the screws to get the right angle. Just be aware of the weight of the figure. They are quite heavy for what they are. As I said, they're about 7 inches tall, and that's quite a heavy amount of plastic to kind of put on a flight stand. So I tend to not use flight stands unless I'm using them for a photograph or something maybe. But to avoid anyone falling over or falling off, I would definitely recommend kind of a more kind of vanilla pose like this for your display. So yeah, massive thank you to Diamond Select Toys for sending him over. It's very much appreciated. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. And I will see you very soon.